Stand up right now if you can. Go ahead and give it a try. Just take a brief moment to truly pay attention to what's happening inside your body. Even as you were seated a second ago, your heart continues its steady, reliable beating. Your blood keeps circulating smoothly through your veins and arteries, quietly performing their essential duties, all without a single conscious thought from you. Yet there's something critically important that the vast majority of people never stop to consider. After you cross the age of 55, your arteries are no longer as robust, elastic, or supple as they once were in your younger years. Far too many individuals continue to hold the mistaken belief that clogged arteries appear out of nowhere. One perfectly normal day, you feel completely fine, and then suddenly, without the slightest hint or warning, a heart attack or stroke strikes. But reality paints a very different picture. Clogged arteries do not form overnight. They build up extremely gradually, silently, and over the span of many, many years. There are no loud warning sirens, no abrupt stabbing pains to grab your attention, no clear, unmistakable signs screaming that danger is approaching, until one day, a serious crisis finally erupts. It could manifest as a heart attack, it could be a stroke. Or maybe your physician looks over your latest test results and softly remarks, "I really wish we had caught this much sooner." I'm Dr. Michael Kent, and over the course of many years, I have focused my professional efforts on assisting older adults exactly like you in preserving strong, vibrant hearts using gentle, natural methods that avoid heavy reliance on powerful prescription medications or invasive surgical interventions. Now, imagine this. What if I shared with you that a single, remarkably uncomplicated meal, not a costly supplement, not a surgical procedure, has been clearly demonstrated by solid scientific research to start helping your body defend and nurture your arteries, beginning with your very next bite? And importantly, this is not about imposing a rigid, miserable diet that strips away all the foods you enjoy. It remains budget friendly, straightforward to adopt, and you certainly do not need to abandon the dishes that bring you joy and satisfaction. I kindly ask you to stay with me all the way through this message. By the end, you will have a clear understanding of exactly what to include in your meals, the precise scientific reasons these choices deliver such strong protective effects for your cardiovascular system, and crucially, how to put them into practice in a safe manner, particularly if you're over the age of 60. But first, before we go any further, let me address and correct one very common misconception that misleads so many well intentioned people. When the average person hears the term clogged arteries, their imagination typically jumps to an image of household plumbing pipes completely blocked with thick grease and accumulated gunk. While that analogy illustrates part of the issue, it only tells a fraction of the full story. The real origin of the trouble lies in chronic inflammation taking place within the walls of the arteries themselves. This low-level, persistent inflammation slowly erodes and injures the sensitive inner lining of your arteries across time. Once that vital lining, called the endothelium, suffers damage or ongoing irritation, cholesterol particles start sticking to those weakened areas. Over the passing years, calcium begins layering on top of the cholesterol deposits, and gradually the arteries become increasingly rigid, constricted, and less capable of permitting smooth, unrestricted blood circulation. Medical professionals describe this entire gradual progression as atherosclerosis. Because it advances so stealthily over decades, countless people continue feeling entirely normal until the damage has reached an advanced stage. Here is the single most vital takeaway I want you to carry with you today. Your body actually has a built-in natural ability to resist and counteract this accumulating damage. You truly can slow its advance to a significant degree. In certain instances, it is even possible to help reverse some of the existing harm. But this only becomes feasible when you deliberately stop feeding the very inflammation that fuels the entire process in the first place. And that brings us directly to the one simple, highly effective meal I mentioned earlier. Before we move forward, I would genuinely appreciate it if you would take just a second right now to drop a quick comment below with only your age. It brings me great encouragement to see who is joining in and actively pursuing improved heart health at this moment. Let me guide you step by step through the actual changes occurring inside your body, shifts that surprisingly few people ever talk about in plain terms. As you enter your 60s, 70s, and even later decades, Four primary physiological changes take place that have a direct and profound impact on the condition and performance of your arteries. The first is the ongoing presence of chronic inflammation inside the artery walls. Imagine your arteries as an ordinary garden hose used for watering plants. When the inside remains perfectly smooth and free of debris, water, or in this case, blood, flows through with minimal resistance and great efficiency. Persistent inflammation, however, roughens and irritates that inner surface, much like moss, algae, or gradual buildup, coating the hose interior and creating drag and turbulence that hampers smooth flow. In medical terminology, this critical inner surface is the endothelium. When inflammation compromises it, cholesterol molecules and calcium deposits find it much simpler to latch on and build up, eventually creating plaque. A major, well-regarded study from Harvard University followed over 5,000 adults for a complete 15-year duration. The results were unmistakable. Higher levels of inflammation markers turned out to be a more reliable predictor of future plaque formation and expansion than elevated cholesterol readings by themselves. I understand that this might come as a surprise or even spark some doubt. For years, most of us have been told to adopt low-fat diets, start taking statin drugs, or steer completely clear of red meat. Those approaches do have their appropriate roles in certain situations, but they frequently miss addressing the genuine primary driver, inflammation, at its core. Let me expand a bit on this inflammation aspect, because it's so crucial and often overlooked. Chronic inflammation isn't like the sudden swelling you get from a cut or injury. It's a slow burning process that simmers in the background. It can be triggered by various factors, including poor diet, stress, lack of exercise, and even environmental toxins. Over time, this inflammation signals the body to send more cholesterol to the site as a repair mechanism, but instead of helping, it leads to buildup. That's why focusing solely on cholesterol lowering without tackling inflammation is like treating the symptoms without curing the disease. Many patients I've seen come in confused, wondering why their cholesterol meds aren't preventing further issues. The answer lies in this deeper layer of understanding. The second key change involves oxidative stress paired with the serious threat posed by unstable plaque. This element deserves special attention because plaque is far from uniform in nature. Certain plaques are soft, vulnerable, and highly unstable. Picture a thin layer of ice frozen over a winter pond. From afar, it looks solid and safe, yet the slightest added weight or pressure can cause it to fracture and collapse abruptly. Unstable plaque acts in much the same manner. It can suddenly break open without any prior notice, setting off a heart attack or stroke in an instant. Oxidative stress, which is essentially damage at the cellular level caused by reactive free radical molecules, weakens the protective fibrous cap that covers plaque buildup, dramatically raising the chances of rupture. A study conducted by researchers at Johns Hopkins University tracked roughly 2,400 older individuals and uncovered a compelling finding. Those who maintained higher levels of protective antioxidants in their bodies showed a striking 52% lower risk of experiencing plaque rupture. To make this clearer, think about oxidative stress like rust on metal. Free radicals are unstable molecules that steal electrons from healthy cells, causing a chain reaction of damage. In your arteries, this oxidizes cholesterol, making it more likely to stick and form dangerous plaques. Antioxidants, which come from foods like fruits and vegetables, neutralize these free radicals. That's why diet plays such a pivotal role. I've had patients who, after increasing their antioxidant intake, report not just better heart scans, but also more energy and fewer aches, side benefits that show how interconnected our body systems are. The third significant shift is the natural age-related reduction in nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide serves as an essential signaling molecule that instructs blood vessels to relax and widen, thereby promoting optimal blood flow. You can think of it as a natural lubricant applied to a rusty, stiff hinge. It allows everything to operate smoothly and without friction. As we grow older, our bodies produce progressively less nitric oxide, which leads to increasingly rigid arteries and frequently contributes to elevated blood pressure. Research performed at the University of Barcelona demonstrated that individuals who adopted a Mediterranean-style dietary pattern for as little as 4 weeks experienced a notable 30% increase in nitric oxide levels, resulting in visibly more pliable and healthier arteries. Nitric oxide is fascinating because it's produced by the endothelium itself, and its decline is part of why arteries stiffen with age. Foods rich in nitrates like beets or leafy greens can boost its production naturally. In my practice, I've seen blood pressure drop significantly in patients who incorporate these foods, often reducing their need for medications. It's a gentle way to support the body's own mechanisms, and the best part is it's accessible through everyday meals, not exotic or expensive items. The fourth major factor centers on repeated blood sugar spikes and the development of insulin resistance. Too many older adults underestimate just how sharply their blood glucose can surge following particular meals. Envision the delicate inner lining of your arteries as the fine, intricate fibers of an expensive carpet. Every major blood sugar spike is comparable to accidentally spilling sticky soda across those fibers. Small, cumulative injuries build up quietly and persistently. These frequent elevations trigger increased insulin release, which then amplifies inflammation and inflicts further harm on the endothelium. If you have ever noticed tingling or numbness in your feet, unusual tiredness or sluggishness after meals, or a gradual upward creep in your blood pressure readings, feel free to type the word artery in the comments section right now. Blood sugar management is key, especially as metabolism slows with age. Refined carbs cause rapid spikes, leading to insulin resistance where cells don't respond well to insulin, keeping sugar in the blood longer and causing more damage. This cycle feeds into inflammation and oxidative stress, creating a vicious loop. Breaking it with whole foods stabilizes everything. Many of my patients find that after stabilizing blood sugar, they sleep better, have steadier moods, and even lose weight effortlessly, proving how holistic heart health can be. This is the point where countless sincere, well meaning individuals fall into a common trap. They become overly focused on cholesterol laboratory values alone. Certainly, monitoring LDL cholesterol remains relevant, but inflammation, oxidative stress, endothelial dysfunction, and the instability of plaque often play equally critical, or sometimes even more decisive roles in determining actual cardiovascular risk. That is exactly why an approach that targets these fundamental underlying causes, especially chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, proves far wiser and more effective than merely trying to improve numbers on a blood test report. Focusing only on cholesterol is like fixing one tire on a car while ignoring the engine. It might help a bit, but the real problems persist. Comprehensive strategies address the root causes, leading to better long-term outcomes. Studies show that lifestyle changes can outperform meds in some cases with fewer side effects. Now that we have carefully examined how arteries accumulate damage across the years, I want to explain how certain simple, enjoyable food selections can actively shield your arteries, facilitate repair, and, in many situations, contribute to partial reversal of existing damage. To make this feel more personal and relatable, allow me to introduce two individuals I have personally guided through this process. First, there was Margaret, who was 67 at the time she first consulted with me. She had a significant family history of heart disease, and a recent ultrasound examination had detected initial plaque buildup in her arteries. She looked directly at me and said, "I honestly feel perfectly okay. So why is any of this happening now?" Her blood pressure registered 146/88. Her cholesterol numbers sat in the borderline range, but her inflammation markers, especially C-reactive protein, were markedly elevated. Together, we implemented what I refer to as the HEART protocol, a straightforward, realistic eating and lifestyle strategy specifically crafted to combat inflammation, oxidative stress, and unstable blood sugar levels. In only 8 weeks, Margaret's blood pressure improved to 128/78. Her CRP decreased by 36%, and she reported feeling noticeably more energetic with clearer thinking. With a big smile, she told me, "I never imagined I could feel this alive and vibrant again at my age." Margaret's story is typical of many seniors who discover hidden issues through routine checks. She wasn't overweight or sedentary, yet inflammation was silently at work. The protocol's simplicity allowed her to stick with it. No drastic overhauls, just smart swaps that fit her routine. She started with adding more veggies and olive oil, and the results snowballed positively. Then there was George, who was 72 years old. For over 2 decades, he had faithfully adhered to a traditional low-fat, low-cholesterol diet, firmly believing he was following the best possible path to protect his heart. Despite his dedication, a recent CT scan revealed that his arterial plaque was continuing to worsen. He expressed deep frustration in my office. "I've stuck to every recommendation they gave me, and things are still getting worse." We transitioned his eating habits toward a Mediterranean inspired pattern, placing particular emphasis on reducing inflammation. After just 2 months, repeat imaging showed that the plaque had stabilized with no additional progression observed. His triglyceride levels dropped from 220 to 160 dl. His protective HDL cholesterol rose by 15%. And most importantly, he regained a genuine feeling of confidence, realizing at last that he was truly supporting his arteries in an effective way. George's case highlights how outdated advice can mislead. Low-fat diets often replace fats with carbs, worsening blood sugar and inflammation. Shifting to quality fats like those in olive oil and fish made all the difference. He now enjoys meals more, feeling satisfied without deprivation. Now let's turn to the practical side. The heart protocol starts by intentionally eliminating the primary triggers of inflammation. This involves avoiding refined carbohydrates and specific pro-inflammatory vegetable oils, such as soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, and canola oil. These items can ignite inflammatory responses that counteract all your other positive efforts. Instead, opt for whole, minimally processed carbohydrate sources and healthier fats like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. Always remember this important truth. No dietary supplement in existence can completely offset the damage caused by consistently unhealthy eating habits. It would be similar to attempting to repair leaks in your roof during a heavy downpour. The rain keeps pouring in faster than you can patch. Refined carbs like white bread or sugary snacks spike blood sugar quickly, fueling inflammation. Pro-inflammatory oils are high in omega-6 fats, which in excess tip the balance toward inflammation. Swapping to olive oil, rich in omega-9, restores harmony. This step alone can reduce inflammation markers significantly within weeks, as seen in numerous studies. Next, incorporate powerful natural flavor boosters into your meals. Garlic, turmeric ideally paired with black pepper, lemon juice, oregano, and rosemary. Garlic is well supported by research for its ability to reduce blood pressure and decrease arterial stiffness. Turmeric functions by inhibiting key inflammatory pathways in the body. Simply including 1 or 2 crushed garlic cloves each day has been shown in studies to reduce CRP levels by 20–30% among older adults within a 12-week timeframe. These ingredients do far more than enhance flavor dramatically. They provide active, measurable cardiovascular defense. Garlic contains allicin, which relaxes blood vessels. Turmeric's curcumin, absorbed better with black pepper's piperine, blocks enzymes that promote inflammation. Lemon adds vitamin C, an antioxidant, while herbs like oregano and rosemary offer polyphenols. These are easy to add. Sprinkle on salads, stir into soups, or use in marinades. Patients love how they make healthy eating tasty, improving adherence. Then, establish extra virgin olive oil as a regular daily feature of your meals. It contains abundant heart-protective oleic acid, along with strong antioxidants like hydroxytyrosol. These components help safeguard the endothelium and prevent damaging oxidation of LDL cholesterol particles. Use it generously as a finishing drizzle over vegetables, fish, salads, or other dishes, rather than for very high-temperature cooking. Always select cold-pressed versions stored in dark glass containers to maintain their beneficial qualities. Olive oil is a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet linked to longer lifespans. Its monounsaturated fats lower bad cholesterol without affecting good ones. Antioxidants protect against oxidative stress. Drizzle 2 to 3 tablespoons daily. It's versatile for dips, dressings, or even in smoothies. Quality matters. Extra virgin ensures potency. Make it a habit to fill the majority of your plate with colorful, non-starchy vegetables such as spinach, arugula, broccoli, red bell peppers, tomatoes, and onions. The dietary fiber in these foods helps bind and remove excess cholesterol, stabilizes blood sugar responses, and actively fights inflammation. Their rich supply of polyphenols powerfully counters oxidative stress, Harvard researchers monitored approximately 3,000 adults over a 10-year period and determined that those consuming 5 or more servings of vegetables daily exhibited 42% less arterial stiffness. Aim for 3 to 5 cups of these vegetables per day, prepared raw or lightly steamed to preserve their nutrient content. Vegetables provide volume without calories, aiding weight control. Fiber feeds gut bacteria, which influence inflammation system-wide. Colors indicate different nutrients. Red for lycopene in tomatoes, green for chlorophyll in spinach. Mix them up for broad protection. Start with salads or stir fries. They're affordable and filling. Finally, include fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or anchovies at least twice per week. These provide valuable omega-3 fatty acids that strongly diminish inflammation, boost nitric oxide production and availability, and help prevent excessive platelet clumping. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reported that regular omega-3 consumption resulted in an impressive 38% enhancement in arterial flexibility after only 12 weeks. If fresh fish is not to your taste, a high-quality fish oil supplement can serve as a reasonable substitute. But please consult your doctor first, especially if you are taking any blood-thinning medications. If you have kidney problems or follow a potassium-restricted diet, consult your healthcare provider before significantly increasing intake of leafy greens. Omega-3s, like EPA and DHA, compete with inflammatory omega-6s. They thin blood naturally, reducing clot risk. Grill, bake, or can them for convenience. Supplements are okay, but food sources are superior with added nutrients. Monitor for interactions as safety comes first. Start these adjustments slowly and gradually. Give your body adequate time to adjust comfortably, then progressively expand variety and portion sizes. Your health and safety are always the foremost concern. Think of this protocol as helpful complementary support that works alongside, not in place of, your existing medical care. Here is my personal challenge to you right now. Pick just one single component from the heart protocol, perhaps committing to eating 2 servings of fatty fish each week, or simply starting to top your vegetables with a generous drizzle of extra virgin olive oil every day. And follow through with that one change consistently for the next 30 days. Afterward, come back to this message or video and share your personal experience in the comments. Did you notice increased energy? Any positive shifts in blood pressure or general sense of well-being? Your real-life story has the potential to inspire and uplift thousands of other older adults who are reading and watching along with you. Beginning small builds momentum. Track changes in a journal. Note energy, sleep, or doctor visits. Community sharing motivates. I've seen groups form around these challenges, supporting each other. A crucial point to remember: no dietary supplement on the market can fully compensate for consistently poor eating habits. Trying to offset daily unhealthy choices with a pill is like attempting to patch roof leaks in the middle of a torrential rainstorm. The damage keeps pouring in faster than you can repair it. If today's information has been helpful, eye-opening, or motivating for you, please take a quick moment to subscribe so you won't miss what comes next. In the upcoming message, we'll explore a single, surprisingly common nutrient deficiency affecting most seniors that quietly undermines heart health in ways that are rarely discussed. And I promise at least one detail will genuinely surprise you. Subscriptions keep you informed on evolving research. The next topic on deficiencies, like vitamin D or magnesium, often links to fatigue and irregular heartbeats. Finally, if you've stayed with me from the opening line all the way to this closing paragraph, please type "Heartstrong" in the comments below. Together, we can build a warm, supportive, and empowering community of older adults who are proactively taking charge of their heart and vascular future. I'm Doctor, and I truly look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Take excellent care of yourself and make that first small, meaningful step today.